So today we've got some new parts to fit. I'm upgrading my fuel injectors. I've currently got 550cc injectors in at the moment. However, I'm getting close to about 82% at £6 a boost, and it's not overfueling at this point, so it's probably a good idea to stick some 630s in, which I got off MWR. Just a standard one to use. These are the injectors themselves, pretty standard sort of thing. They've come with top seals but not come with any insulators. Fortunately, I have a set left over from when I fitted some originals. Well, when I took the engine out actually, because one fell out and the seals are one use. So, but obviously I never had to use these because the Beachworks ones came with brand new ones. So that's those bits. I got the optional connector pack as well. I can't be bothered cutting and splicing for the sake of what it costs. That'll take 2 minutes to put in, the tar up will secure them, and you won't see any of it, whereas all messing about cutting and chopping. So to take the old ones out, what we need to do is we need to remove the fuel rail, which is this piece here. It's held on with two 12mm bolts, those two, and there's a 10 which holds the line in place as it comes round. We'll also need to unplug all the injectors, and that's the first thing. The thing I haven't shown is, I don't know whether you actually need to do this, but I take the fuel filler cap out, it seems to stop it pissing everywhere. I don't know if that's a real way of dropping the pressure. I've heard of people cracking lines and stuff like that, but I've never done anything like that. I've always literally fill the cap off and then I've been able to take the rail off. So we'll start by loosening all the bolts. We'll start with this one. You want to use a smaller ratchet on valve cover bolts and things like that, as they are very soft. And I've broken in the past using a big ratchet. Well, say a big ratchet, I mean a bigger ratchet. We've got that out. Crack these two. 712s. Pretty tight. Crack that one. Before we go any further, we need to unclip all these. Happy days. Right, with a bit of luck, these should come out without too much danger. Sensor. Get the bloody thing out. Pull this forward. From this now, pop out like this. There we go. Right, what we need to do is just to catch anything really, and make sure it's a clean towel, as we know of. Nice holes for things to fall into the cylinders. I'll just turn them up, so we'll start with one. See, nothing there, and that's the old injector. That's a Beachworks 550cc. Very good quality injector there. So we'll put that somewhere safe. Back in the box they came out of. See, and that is why this. It's like they all pulled up back. A bit more coming out this time. So I expect this one will be soaking. Yeah, not loads. Petrol evaporates pretty quickly. Right, so that's the old. So that's the old injectors out. I'll just do a bit of a inspection down here. Insulator. look pretty good, to be honest. I think they would, yeah, change them, didn't they, when they put the ones in, not really clean around it. Yeah, they should be fine. Not leaking houses anyway. Let's have a look actually. Right. I don't know I'll be able to tell, but you can tell that's the old insulator. Feels pretty good, to be honest. Doesn't feel too hard. New ones feel a bit harder, but we'll change them just because we've got new ones. Because if these leak, we will end up with a vacuum leak. So it's worthwhile. For that reason alone. That one's easier. Move a petrol stained rag out the way. There we go, so we'll get that out. Another one. And there's a piece of hay or straw or something that's come off the floor of this garage. Let's get that. Right. So that's all the insulators. Right. Okay. So the next bit is the injectors. I'll just grab those. Now it says on the seals to only use, all the insulators gone everywhere. To only use .4 brake fluid on the seals. In the past I have used engine oil and I have used Vaseline as well, and they seem to work pretty well. The idea is just you don't rag them in and break them, but that's the kit you need if you are going to change injectors. I know some of you guys, especially changing to the 1ZZ mods, you've used old seals. It's really not worth it because they are a one-use seal. That's what they're designed to be. And if they break, well, if they break and it's going to leak fuel, then you kind of foobar really, because you can't drive it like that. So we're ready to install the new injectors. Nothing else in there. Have a look and we've got the seals on. Right, I'll get some we're going to do brake fluid down here because there's a bit of a stripping paint. That's on your finger. So I'll put that on there. Seal. Like that. That's actually off camera, but put some on there like that. And we'll start at the end. So that they just push in. To get the old iPhone torch out again. So that pushed up as far as it's going to go. Feels like it. We'll soon find out anyway. So the next one. The next hole, that one went in a bit nicer, and that seems to have it's seated about the same, hasn't it? Yeah, we'll see. They look about the same. Right, okay. Keep that on for the time being, I think. nicely. Keep going over there because the injectors are everywhere. The last one. Like that. So those are installed. So leave that bag out of the way. Should be able to petrol leaking. We'll put the new insulators on. Just clip on like that. Like I say, you know, these don't usually wear out, but if they do fail, you'll have a vacuum leak and the car won't run properly. So, you know, particularly in my case, obviously with the system being pressurised, they might not leak from the vacuum, but they may leak boost. So I don't really want boost leaks if I can avoid it. So we put the rail back, put the connector out of the way. Right stuff, right, okay, well what we'll do first is we'll just do it in reverse order. Put the big bolt back. Put that there. Do everything down tight, put that back. Not going to like it when it's like that without that being in. Like I say, you don't need to be daft with those bolts, you'll just snap. Right, so the next one. Before we tighten anything up, just want to do one last visual inspection. Make sure they're all going where they should be going. Yes, they're all in. Yeah, they look like it anyway. So, need to make sure this goes down as evenly as possible. Needs to be. There we go. Excellent. Right, so the new injectors are installed. I'll just show you this. You can see the new injector installed there. Obviously the rail will push it in to where it needs to go, and it will push on the insulators, which will seal the engine, as you can see there, and there, and there on that one. So they're in place. They will be loose, as you can see there. They do move. That's just normal because they're not actually fixed. So next bit is the connectors. So like I said before, these are MWR 630cc injectors. So the connector themselves is different. They're obviously from a different application. You can get the Deechworks ones, which I've taken out, and these ones are, they use the factory clip, so these ones do not. But these 630cc injectors are the same price as the 550 Deechworks with the connectors. So there's only the added stress really of adding some tie wraps to secure all these connectors. So we'll just put all these on. You can cut and solder different connectors on. However, it's one of them. If you can be bothered, if you value your time that little that you want to spend hours doing it, then go for it, I say. Personally, I'd just rather plug them in, clip them in. The worst case scenario I'm probably going to have to do that is one tart there, one tart there. You know, it's not exactly a big drama to do, but we'll leave that like that for the time being, as they're all connected up. Okay, so now the injectors are installed, and before we do anything else really, we need to check for leaks. Obviously we'll put the fuel filler cap back, which is what I've done, and we need to turn the ignition on basically, and what that will do is the fuel pump will come on and it will bring the fuel rail up to the correct pressure, and we should be able to see if there are any leaks. It will happen at this point before the engine's even running. So I'll just go and turn the ignition on, and we'll see what happens. You'll notice that I turned the ignition on a couple of times there. The first time was obviously the fuel pump came on and I could hear it, and it made a different noise, and I just checked it a few times just to make sure that there are no issues, because obviously all that fuel, it came out the rail, so obviously the pump had to refill it, so I just wanted to make sure that's all the same. If there was a leak, you would pretty much see it, because I've had it in the past and it will piss everywhere, excuse my French. But you can just have a quick feel. That's fine. That's fine. So we should have no problems there. In the car we go. So now we know nothing leaks. What we need to do is we need to alter some of the configuration of the Power FC to tell it that we've put bigger injectors in. Now the Power FC has quite a clever way of doing this. Typically, on I know a couple of standard ones you would need to do this. You change the injector size, you would literally have to rescale the entire base map, which is that. And as you can imagine, that can take a lot of time. What we can do with the Power FC, however, is you can scale them on basically a percentage. So the way this works is, if we had 100% in these boxes here, that would mean we had 310cc injectors. That's what it comes out the factory with, and that's what the Power FC has basically comes out the box ready for. But what we can do here is we can tell the Power FC that we've put bigger injectors in. So what it does is, it using the values in the base map, it applies this percentage. And how we work this out is via this formula here, which I will just put down. And as you can see there, based on the old and the new values, we can work out what percentage we need, and obviously in this case it's 49.2. On the old ones it was 56.4, but obviously we need to do that. And the other thing we need to alter is, if you look there, you'll see there's some with a range of voltages. Now that's actually off MWR's website, so that's just basically inputting values. You can do this off the hand controller. If I just turn the ignition on, by going into setting injector, and you can see there that obviously you see it's scaled there. So put that back as it was. So with that in mind, obviously now this is already uploaded, but with those settings in place, obviously now we're ready to start the car and check for any leaks while running. So with the engine running, we need to do an inspection to make sure we've got no leaks. So you can see there, nothing. You'd be able to tell really if there was fuel. Nothing down there, and then yeah, good to go. Thanks for watching.